Come into the room, family. Come into the room. I am the H-Town vet, and I'd like to welcome you to our channel. As I've stated, family, come into the room. I'd like to welcome you to our channel. I am the H-Town vet. I'd like to welcome you to our channel, a place where we will discuss a variety of benefits available to veterans, active duty members, and their dependents. Come into the room, family. We're going to go ahead and get started. We know many people out celebrating the holidays, but I had to come and check in. Now, family, on our channel, for those that are new, we have a 5-day wait period if you want to chat, but you can participate, be involved in the channel. But in actuality, the chat, we have a 5-day wait. Keep down trolling issues. Family, if this information turns out to be informative, please smash that like button. Now we're going to get ready to get on topic. So let's get ready to do that. And the topic for today is we're going to talk about how to protect ourselves when we're dealing with the VHA or the VA healthcare system. And we're going to use a example of an experience that a veteran had in the Florida VA hospital. So we're going to talk about it tonight. In particular, we're going to be answering the question, how can veterans prevent the VA hospital system or the VHA, Veteran Healthcare System, from being weaponized against us? All right. How can veterans prevent the VA hospital system, VHA, from being weaponized against us? Now let's talk about it. Family, you know, when it comes to, we're going to use mental health as an example. When it comes to mental health, there tends to be a dynamic or a fluctuation where our condition can go from, we can be generally happy, maybe calm, anxiety gets worse, fear, then all out depression or PTSD, depending on your diagnosis. So family, that's what we're going to use as an example tonight, dealing with the VA healthcare system. So thank you for joining us. Now, when it comes to any time that you have a mental health emergency, there's an issue that you have to consider or know called the Baker Act. We've covered this before on a past live stream when we dealt with, I think, fiduciaries, and we did a specific live stream on it dealing with having weapons. So the Baker Act is a Florida law that allows for the involuntary medical examination of people who are experiencing a mental health crisis. So what is the purpose of the Baker Act? To provide temporary involuntary detention and psychiatric evaluation for individuals who have a mental illness and are a danger to themselves or others. Now we're going to talk about this here. We talked about the Judas Goat, those that portray veterans saying that, you know, we don't need VA disability. All we need is treatment. But sometimes that treatment can be an issue. One person in particular, Lieutenant Colonel Gay, retired, he said he kind of prioritized veterans, combat veterans and people, and put non-combat veterans at the bottom of the list. And that could become problematic, not just because by the ranking, but a lot of times that doesn't even matter when it comes to your treatment in the VA healthcare system. And, you know, assuming that you have an honorable discharge, sometimes people have a general discharge, or you may have a bad conduct or a dishonorable discharge. But family, don't always go along with that. Make sure you do your best to get your character of service upgraded. Now, you need help, ask for it, right? Ask us. That's the reason that the VA hospital is there, and the VA healthcare center system, including clinics, community care, and all these other parts of it. So the reason that they are there to assist veterans and sometimes their dependents. So you say, I need your help, right? You go to the VA, you tell them, I need your help. Now, when you go to them and you ask for help, you expect, and you say, well, I need to be able to talk to other veterans. That's the kind of therapy I want, group therapy, where they can help me out and I can get the assistance that I need. Okay. Then they set you up. They say, well, talk to a John Doe. Mr. John Doe says, hey, come back up to the VA. We're going to get you set up in that group with other veterans where you get the treatment and the help that you need, and we're going to take care of you. This is at the VA hospital, right? We're just using that as an example. And so you go up there and say, I'm here to meet John, right? Because he's going to help me get into this veteran group where I can share my experiences with other veterans and get the help that I need. And then they hit the alarm. Hold on. What's going on? Of course, it's the silent alarm. Come on, family. Somebody shows up and tackles you. Wait a minute. They tackle you at a VA hospital? We're speaking as an example for right now. You there to get the help you need. You talk to someone, told them what your mental health issues are, related to your military service. And then they involuntarily snatch you up. Now, as a result, you are institutionalized. So you went there starting off trying to get help because of your condition. You letting them know, hey, I just want some group therapy, but they end up involuntarily hospitalizing you. Now, family, time out. Time out, family, time out. What's going on here? Well, family, I want you to understand, this happened. This happened at the VA hospital, the Macomb Macomb Randall Medical Center, Gainesville Division, down in Florida. Okay. And we're going to talk about it. Happened to a veteran. He went in for help. Can you help me? They said, we're going to set something up where you can get therapy, group therapy, like he asked, because he said he want to get. Well, he assuming he's going to get this group therapy. That's what he expected. That's what he was told by this individual at the VA hospital. But it turned out to be all lies. When he arrived at the hospital, this gentleman here, the Veterans Baker Act in Florida hospital raises questions about the state law. He was Baker Acted. They tackled him, and we're going to watch a video that talks about this issue because we've covered this before. So that's why we're telling you, family, it's important to understand your rights and how to protect yourself. Because just like policemen, the VA members of the VA can lie, whether at the regional office or the hospital. They can lie to you. All right? And they get away with it all the time. No consequences. Now we're going to watch a video here, fair use. Fair use. We're going to turn the music off, family. And we want to thank you for all of you that are watching live and recorded. Let's get it. We're going to get ready to get it started here. And we thank y'all for joining those that's coming into the room. We thank you for joining us. So, family, we're going to get ready. Fair use. Let me make sure I got the right clip up. Y'all give me a second here. I got quite a few. And I want to thank the veteran that sent me this article. We really appreciate you for doing that. All right. We're going to get ready to pull this video up. And thank you for joining us, family. And we're going to let the commercial pass. Again, in a second here for the commercial to pass. We appreciate you for your patience and thank you for being here. All right. Now, if somebody's in there, if you can chat, if you're able to chat, let me know if you can hear it, and I'll check on my end. Let us get ready. All right. Here we go, fam. Fair use. This, I believe, happened last year. The article at least came out back then. Let's get it going.
I'm Katie Lagrone. The VA in Florida is facing serious questions about how its hospitals are using the Baker Act on veterans seeking help. This after a young Marine went to a Florida VA for treatment and ended up being held against his will for days.
This is our son when he graduated boot camp.
Jordan Hunkin was barely a teenager when he first told his mom he wanted to be a Marine.
He says, I'm going in the military, Mom. I want to be a Marine. I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, to be in the military was an honor.
By 17, Hunkin enlisted.
So, you know, usually when you're 17, if you enlist, you have to get the signature of your parents to agree if you do it before 18.
While his parents attended graduation ceremonies, 17-year-old Jordan Hunkin could not.
The young recruit even made the local news when he skipped his high school graduation to pursue military service. For the next 8 years, Hunkin, who was part of a special ops radio battalion, would endure multiple tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. By 2012, he left the Marine Corps for civilian contract work. A few years later,
About 2015, he began to pull from us, and I did not know why. As the years went on, the further and further he got.
medical records his family provided us show Jordan's military service left him with numerous head strikes, a mild concussion, and PTSD. Friends say the former Marine knew he needed help and wanted it.
That's kind of when he brought up that he was thinking about going to the VA. And that's when I got really worried.
Friend and fellow Marine James Hobby.
There's been plenty of instances where guys do that and it doesn't turn out well. We joke about it like in the military where like, don't go to the VA, like they'll just kill you.
For Jordan, nothing was funny about the mental battle he was losing. So in February of 2023, he came here to Malcolm Randall VA Hospital in Gainesville, where the young Marine told buddies he was attending a voluntary treatment program for depression and PTSD.
He was convinced that there was this special combat veteran.
So listen, now he was convinced. Now somebody told him that he was going to a voluntary, not involuntary, treatment program. I've done an outpatient treatment program for mental health at the VA. The smart, very smart thing he did was tell his friend.
Program that he was going to be able to attend that would help him with the issues that he was having.
A few days later,
he called me and he was a completely convinced
and PTSD.
He was convinced that there was this special combat veteran program that he was going to be able to attend that would help him with the issues that he was having.
A few days later,
he called me and he was a totally different person. Like he was very frantic in the voice. He was very distraught. He starts to tell me about how he showed up and he asked for this person's name that he was supposed to be meeting there. And upon asking for that person's name, he was tackled and restrained and held for 3 days.
Known in Florida as the Baker Act, the state law allows designated professionals to initiate an involuntary mental health exam on someone they deem to be a threat to themselves or others. In Jordan's case, despite voluntarily going to the VA for treatment and even being commended for his courage reaching out for help.
So he was commended for his courage for reaching out for help because he did it the right way. And it's not that it's the wrong way. Many of us veterans struggle in silence, but he actually went in and got the help that he needed. He went in. And he got the help that he needed. For all that coming in, welcome. So he actually went to the VA hospital to get the help he needed, and he was commended for that. And then when he went back, somebody promised him, hey, we're going to look out for you. We're going to do this like they're supposed to do, right? The VA is there for us, right? We have our brother Coast in the house said, good evening, H-Town and the family. This is an impromptu live stream. I got some information. So if those of you that can't watch it live, please watch it recorded, or you can sit back if you can't chat. But we got to get this information out. A veteran sent it to me, and it's very important. And we will be going over this information in the future, but we had to cover it, family. So thank you for your patience and understanding. Let's continue. Thank Coasty's in the house.
He was still involuntarily committed under Florida's Baker Act, the move taking him off guard. At one point, he told staff, "This place is not what I expected, and I don't understand why I'm here or Baker acted." 2 days later, Jordan was discharged and never went to the VA for help again.
At that point.
So what happens is, we pretty sure now he went in there in good faith. Someone promised him, this gentleman, that person, male or female that he talked to, that he was going to be, they were going to help him get into this treatment program, some type of therapeutic program, like you're talking to other veterans and you like therapy. But instead, they bum rushed him and just tackled him and locked him up. So he had no trust for him after that. And I don't know how they would think that was help him want to seek treatment in the future. You shouldn't punish veterans for seeking treatment.
Point he felt that whoever he asked for help is just going to hold him against his will again.
6 months later, 36-year-old Jordan Hunkin died by suicide.
It's just a shock. You know, it's not something, even though you might think it's going to happen, when it does, it's like, oh, no.
Family and friends believe what happened to Jordan at the VA pushed him over the edge.
You threw my son under the bus. You didn't take care of him.
I most definitely believe the VA contributed to his death because afterwards he was a completely, totally different person.
Angry over his friend's treatment, Hobby complained to the VA and discovered his complaints were getting closed within an hour of being submitted.
And they're immediately getting complaints that they should be looking into, and they're throwing them in the trash.
He went up the chain, eventually getting the attention of the VA's Office of Inspector General, who investigated.
So now that was a very good move. He had the type of friend that would look out for him, right? This is very important. When you got somebody in your family or friends or fellow Marines or fellow airmen, fellow soldiers or fellow sailors that don't allow things to be just thrown under the table, hidden away.
A few months later, the IG released this report that found Jordan was incorrectly Baker acted.
Did you hear that? So the Inspector General found that this young man was incorrectly Baker Act, which cost him his life because he couldn't trust the system that was supposed to help him, that was supposed to give him the treatment. Instead, they abused him, physically assaulted the man because they legally couldn't do what they were doing. And was anybody fired? Was anybody arrested for the way this young man, this Marine was treated, this veteran?
His rights violated. There's more. No Baker Act training, no Baker Act oversight, no Baker Act tracking. In fact, the Inspector General.
So they don't have in this hospital, they didn't have no Baker Act training, no Baker Act oversight, nothing. Accountability, nothing. They just was going wild, wild west. Is this how we treat our fellow veterans? This is how the VA healthcare system. Where is Doug Collins, the Secretary of the VA, on this issue? Where is Congress, the Senate and the House, on this issue?
General's report, which doesn't name Jordan for privacy reasons, suggested what happened to him may have happened to dozens of other veterans seeking help at the same hospital.
Would you call it a complete failure?
It definitely.
Look, yes, it happened before. They did it too comfortably. They set a trap for him. They set a trap for this fellow veteran here. You understand? They set a trap for him, lied to him, have him come up there, then ambushed him.
It was a significant failure.
Susan Tostenrud is with the VA and says part of the problem is the VA governs by its own set of rules, not Florida law, which sets rules for the Baker Act.
I'm unable.
So the VA going by its own rules, don't have to go by the Baker Act rules itself. They just come up with what they want to. So we're dealing with a system that makes the rules and break the rules as they see necessary.
To say if it's a systemic issue, I can say it could be.
Studies show veterans who are involuntarily admitted are at a higher risk of suicide in the year following. Though Jordan took his life 6 months after he was Baker acted, the IG's report falls short of blaming the hospital for his death. But it acknowledged his experience likely contributed to him feeling, quote, misled by the VA.
Like some people have a great
misled. Let's talk about betrayed, tricked, bamboozled, ambushed. They tiptoeing around the issue.
experience with the VA, and then some people die.
James Hobby now wants accountability.
I just don't think it's okay for him to be treated that way and then him just be another number that just killed himself when there's way more to it than just that. It's not that simple.
I want them to work to help bring these men and women the help they need.
Yes.
He was in the radio battalion. They were ambushed.
Jordan's family just wants change and a promise their son's death off the battlefield is taken as seriously as it would be had Jordan died on the battlefield.
These guys are coming to you for help.
Officials at Malcolm Randall VA Hospital refused an on-camera interview, sending us a statement instead, telling us preventing veteran suicide is our highest priority, and we take this responsibility with the utmost seriousness. The hospital now stepping up its Baker Act training and protocols. I'm Katie LaGrone reporting.
Okay, family. Okay, for those of you that are watching this live and recorded, and those here tonight, I know a lot of people in Thanksgiving, let's understand something. That when we go to the VA hospital, we're going there for treatment, family. Have you ever felt, my question to you, have you ever felt stressed when you were getting ready to go to a VA appointment at the VA hospital? Have you ever felt any level of anxiety or stress? Let us know. I have. Now, if I would experience something like this, I don't think I would ever want to go back either. Well, if you don't go back, you're not getting the treatment. You're more at risk. Now, this was a veteran who had did several tours, right? And remember, they said they want to cut off compensation, but at the same time saying you can just get get the health care. What if the health care is not the quality health care that you need? And who's being held accountable? As you come into the room, family, let us know that you're here. You are welcome to join us. Let's go. Because we're going to talk about these issues. We're not here to be popular. We're here to make sure that veterans are taken care of. That's the purpose of this channel. So, family, this is why when Daniel M. Gade, PhD, he has a lot of titles, business owner, and he's a lieutenant colonel, retired, Purple Heart winner, combat veteran. When he says stuff like treat illness, don't compensate for it before the Senate, and they allowed him to do that, this is not a victimless crime. Because what his definition of treatment is, or what he may experience, I don't even know if he goes to the VA, may not have to. It's way different than a lot of others. Now, listen to what Brother Coasty said. Every time I go, I feel stressed. So a place that you're supposed to get treatment to make you feel better health-wise, both mentally and physically, actually contributes in many cases to a veteran's overall anxiety, mental health problems, and that we know the physical and the mental has a connection. So this is not a victimless crime, family. We're not going to keep you long. We're going to go over this information. We might make it a part 2. But listen, they had a report, the VA National Suicide Data. Listen, do you know how many veterans, several veterans, have went to the VA hospital to take their own lives? And I cry out, and many of them had canceled appointments. They were crying for help that they never received. And it's easy to dismiss them and act like, well, they should have did this, they should have did that. But that's easy to blame somebody when they're no longer here. Our situation is a special situation when it comes to veterans and being in the military, whether you're combat or non-combat, any trauma that you experience, it's important that people understand we have unique experiences while we're in the military, and it takes certain type of treatment. Because some people may see one stressful act, we may see several. Now, that's why when Lieutenant Colonel Gade calls our disability junk disabilities. And he particularly mentions hypertension And he definitely says PTSD, which is a mental health condition. These are not junk disabilities. Congress allowed him to speak freely and allow garbage to come out of his mouth. And while other veterans are suffering, saying, you know what, if they think my disability is a junk disability, I'm not going to even show up over there. I don't trust the government anyway. I don't trust the VA anyway. This is not a victimless crime, family. So let's talk about it. And we're going to talk about what to do to solve it. One thing that he said, that mental health conditions are curable. Okay, so if it's curable, that means I don't need any medication, right? What can you do to deal with this? Now we're going to talk about how can we deal with it. Number one, defend yourself. Say, what, H-Town, how am I going to defend myself? It's the government against me. They're using other veterans as puppets against me. When I try to go to VA appointments, they keep doing different things, messing around, playing with it. When I go to one person that works, let's say even when you're going for VA disability benefits, I ask one representative a question, they give me one answer. Ask another one, the same question, they give me another answer. A lot of confusion. The greatest weapon used against veterans is disorganization. So let's talk about it. Defend yourself is the first thing you should do. If you have a pillow fight with your sibling, you need to, even though I know it's hard, you need to be in a position where you can protect yourself. Now, we're asking something of someone or individuals that many times we may be in a broken state. We have our sister, Bionic Woman, says, good evening, Mr. H-Town vet and veteran family. Hope everyone had a peaceful holidays. And I want to tell you, I hope y'all had a happy holidays. We're going to let us know. We can chat about that while we're doing this, and we're going to keep it cheerful. Let us know now what was going on during your holiday. My daughter and my niece cooked a full meal, big pans of mac and cheese dressing. I grilled steaks. We were doing it. Family, you know we making it happen here. Coasting, saying, hi, Bionic Woman. Family, we talk about things, but we encourage each other also. We just want to make sure that you're not alone, that you don't feel alone. So like I say, you got to be in the right position. You got to be prepared for a fight when you're dealing with the VA system. That's unfortunate. Now, if you disagree with that, let me know. If you feel that you have to be prepared when you're dealing with the VA healthcare system, the VA benefit system, let us know. Do you have to be prepared to fight, or have your experiences been not so aggressive that people have worked with you in those systems? Let us know. Put a 1 if you've had issues with them dealing with the VA benefit system and healthcare system. Put a 2 if it's been pretty smooth for you and you haven't had. Some people don't have many problems, but I've always been prepared. 1 if you've had problems. 2 if you've never had problems dealing with. And as you come into the room, let us know that you're here, because this is a big concern, family. How can we go to a treatment center and it causes more stress than it does help us? And family, I came on early because I know y'all have Thanksgiving and stuff, but I had to get this out. And I want to give a special thank to the brother, and I'm not going to put his name out there, but this brother who's a friend of this individual that we covered the video. Please go back and watch. And the Marine went to talk to the VA. I don't know if he talked to him at home or at the VA hospital, but somebody, he was supposed to talk to somebody that's going to get him into a treatment program. When he got there, they ambushed him and tackled him when he asked for the guy's name. He stayed there for 3 days. They Baker Act him. And that don't just mean they involuntarily confine you. They also take your weapons. And then the Office of Attorney General, because of a good friend of one of his fellow Marines, helped him out, fought for him after this year because he couldn't no longer fight for himself after he, took his own life. He actually, from what I can gather, he actually did call the Office of Inspector General, who actually did a report that said, yes, he was unjustly Baker acted. Now listen to this. Oh, Bionic Woman says, I was very stressed when I had my surgery at the VA a few years back. I am still stressed about the VA healthcare system. Family, I'm concerned. Why are we so stressed out about the VA healthcare system, who is supposed to be there for us? Listen to what Charleston say. Was he stressed out? H-Town say, yes, stressed out when I go to the appointment. Charleston say, yes, dealing with them, stressed out. Coastie say, yes, stressed out. And everybody speaking, the shipmates and Bionic Woman, Air Force, they're all in the house. We acknowledge all branches of the military. We don't care if you're male or female, black, white, or other. We all family here. You understand? Now, we got to go in for a fight. It shouldn't be that way, but we have to be prepared going to medical appointments. Now, we have to find ways to protect ourselves. The first one I said, because the question is, how can veterans prevent the VA hospital system, VH healthcare system, from being weaponized against us? So I'm going to put that question up there so y'all can see it, because many of you may have just came in. You give us some of your ideas on how you feel about it. Family, we're talking about this thing tonight, huh? We're not playing. We're talking about it. And we're going to, so there it is. And the question is, how can veterans prevent the VA hospital system from being weaponized against us? First thing, you have to defend yourself. I know when you have a state of your health that's maybe weakened through surgery, you may be weakened through your mental capacity because of depression, PTSD, anxiety, migraines. You need to be an advocate or have somebody stand up for you. And that's what we're here for. Now listen to what Charleston say. I don't snitch. Saw once a veteran place firearm in back of truck, VA parking lot. Yeah. I hear you. I know how it go. Let me see. So we need to have protection, family. We need to protect ourselves. We need to protect ourselves from what are we protecting ourselves and how do we protect that? We got to defend ourselves. We got to have a shield. All right. And many times we also have to have counterattacks. We got to be willing and able to be prepared for them to do something to us. We shouldn't have to go there expecting that, but we should already be ready. Now, when I go to appointments, I be prepared. I have all my information on the card. I don't like them saying it out loud. I actually record the encounter with the person at the front desk. Tell me, what is the most stressful part for you? Is it the clinic staff that you see at the desk when you're checking in for your appointment? Is it check-in? Is it with the nurse that's weighing you in, checking your vitals? Is it with the doctor? Which of the three give you the most stress? Or is it just moving around the VA in general, VA hospital? Let us know. Let us know. Is it with the check-in staff? Is it with the nurse who's doing your vitals and high blood pressure, talking to you about things, weight? Is it with the doctor? being attentive, unattentive, nasty attitude, let us know. Or is it with just being at that VA hospital, navigating around, trying to get to where you need to get? Let us know. Now, listen, the key is knowledge. It empowers you. Listen, knowledge will empower you. Now, it ain't enough just to have the knowledge. You got to make sure you have the right knowledge and know what to do with that knowledge. And that's what we're here for. H-Town, I done hit enough walls. Lord, I've hit enough walls. And I say, I want others to know, I don't want them to go through what I went through. What's the most stressful is rules always think, will VA snitch on me? That's one reason I didn't want to go for the longest. That I thought that the VA would take my medical records and tell other people. They don't really do that. But that don't mean that they won't mistreat you inside the system. Your records really don't go outside the system of the VA unless you do it. You send them out. The problem is, because they're so insulated, they kind of bounce you around in there, and that's unfair. Because look at the situation that then happened to this young veteran. Because when I think his name, it almost makes me want to be upset. That's why I'm calling him a veteran. I really appreciate and thank him for his service and those that serve with him. That's keeping his memory alive, and we got to do it. Remember, whatever they tell you when you go to whether it be the VA hospital system, the VA hospital or clinic, or to the VBA, the Veteran Benefit Administration, verify the information. Take nothing as a grain of salt. When H-Town is putting out information, verify it. You know, at some point I should become a reliable source, because even my haters don't tell you I'm lying. If I was lying, that's the first thing they would say. The problem they have is I have no ego to inflate or offend, as my brother would say. No, because look, at some point we got to stop being so caught on ourselves. And even though we have issues, but I'm talking about we shouldn't be selfish. And that's what I like about the group here. Y'all let us know how you feel about it. That's what I liked about Charleston from the beginning. Charleston just speak the real. And sometimes when we speak the real, people feel uncomfortable. But I'm glad I'm around a group of people that I can express myself. Fam, let me turn the music back on. And I thank y'all for it. Verify that information. Have a copy of your full medical record. I don't have an updated copy, but I need to get one. This is how you defend yourself. So you go to you check your record, and if that doctor, nurse put in something incorrect, you go to a patient advocate or you dispute it, as our sister Alaskan Ice taught us on so many live streams. You understand? Say that's wrong, this wrong. No, take that, and they'll take it out your record. Doctor, I didn't say that to you. Now let's listen to our sister Bionic Woman. She says we should have a protest on Capitol Hill. All veterans that are able to go and let our voices be heard. I think that's what I've been thinking. That's what she already beat me to it, because one of my things about how we can prevent the VA hospital system from being weaponized against us and all these other groups is that we do one that's organic, grassroots, not based on VSOs like the American Legion, the DAV, because I'm about to tell you something about Veteran of Foreign Wars tonight. If you want to just enjoy your holidays and you don't want to hear about these non-profit organizations, I suggest you cut off. When we get to it, I'll let you know. Yes, indeed. We need to stand up for each other, but we got to make sure, look, that's why we get the trolling out. See, we not the leader. Ain't nobody the leader here. The code is the leader. You understand? The code is the leader. The code is the veterans that need the most constructive help get it. Let me say that again. Why you should have your full medical records. The veterans that need the most constructive help when it comes to their health care and their benefits should get it. Remember, your disability is based on your severity level. So this young brother should not have been mistreated. I think I may have to play the video again. Because some of y'all, if you saw the video, put a Y in the chat. If you didn't see the video we just covered tonight, put an N in the chat because we might have to go back over it. I know Coastie may have been here. Now listen to what our sister said. She's right. We may need to go on Capitol Hill. See, what has often divided us as veterans has been what? If you saw the video, put a Y in the chat. If you didn't see it, put an N in the chat. We just covered a video about the VA hospital system and how they treated a veteran, all right, a Marine. Now, listen. If you saw it, put a Y in the chat. If you didn't see the video, put an N in the chat. And if you don't know what we're talking about, put an N. That means you didn't see the video. Now, listen to Charleston. H-Town, they have signs up. They will report any veteran to the state with issues, eye problems. What? Wow. The Department of Transportation in my state. That's why I turned in my CDLs. My Lord. My Lord. So let's see who saw it. Wow. Let me see. Farm Girl Rebel say, good evening, everyone listening from the barn. Family, I'm sorry I did this impromptu live stream, but a fellow veteran, somebody that's very supportive of getting the information out. And I remember I told you they sent me a long thing. I hadn't a long letter I didn't get to read. And when I read it, it really touched my heart. And thank you, that veteran, that Marine veteran. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. You are always welcome here. And Charleston says, hi, family. H-Town snake me tonight. I didn't mean to. So Bionic Woman saw the video. And they saying hi. Everybody saying hi to each other. Charleston didn't see it. Then Coastie saw it. Then Farm Girl Rebel saw it. No, she's saying hi to Coastie. She didn't see it. Let me stop lying. Betty Bob say, H-Town, good evening to my sister. And then we have Farm Girl say, evening, Betty. Say, no, they didn't see it. Farm Girl did not see it. Everybody's speaking. And family, I'm sorry, we might have to play it again. All right. I did not see the video, so that's at least 3 or 4 people that didn't see it. I still have it pulled up. So it's about a 6-minute video, and I want y'all to see what happened to this. And this is not meant to make the holidays bad, because we are coming up with solutions on how to deal with such issues. So you say to trust VA H-Town. No. I didn't say that. Verify information. You bet don't trust nothing they say. That's like a cop. You know, legally policemen can lie to you. They can say they have evidence that they don't have. They can lie to you. They can say they have a search warrant and don't have one. Your friend confessed. Now the VA, you know, another government system. Now, family, let me make sure I turn that music off. And I thank y'all. We're gonna watch this. It might go to a commercial. So it goes to a commercial automatic. So let's see what y'all have here. So family, we thank y'all for being so incredibly patient, coming up here and spending time with us on your holidays. But I want to let y'all know, y'all are really important to us here. And, you know, I had time, I relaxed, but I had to get this out. So I've been working for several hours because when this was sent to me by one of our fellow Marine veterans, it touched my heart. I don't know what that is. Okay. So let's see. Now I got to go back. Let me see. Can I get back to it? All right. All right. Give me a second. I'm trying to find it. There it is. Because it went on to the next video. Hopefully they'll let it play. And probably going to do another commercial. We'll see. You know, they commercial you out. So family, thank y'all for being here. Tell me what's going on with y'all while we're waiting for the video to load. Tell us what's going on, what y'all been doing. What have y'all eaten? My daughter and niece cooked. Let us know what's been going on with you. Betty Bob said we have 7 likes and 10 watching. Let us know what have y'all done? Have y'all stayed at home? Did you travel for the holidays? Let us know. H-Town is nosy. Now, I got it pulled up here. And we're going to do that. And we're going to go back to I'm looking for it. Hold on, give me a second here. So what it was, we had this Marine veteran who was in one of the Iraq wars, and I think he may have been in Afghanistan. I forget, but he went for help. You know, they say you need help, come to the VA, right? And he talked to someone, and supposedly they were going to help him. And he said, you know, like they tell us to do, ask for help. He thought he was going to be in some type of treatment program. That's what the person promised him. So when you come there, ask for my name. So he went there asking for that name, you know, using John Doe as an example. Say, I'm here to meet John Doe. And when he went there to meet John Doe, they must have sounded the alarm. And then they tackled him at the VA hospital. And we're going to get into the story. Then they involuntarily hospitalized him. This happened in 2024. Time out, family. Hold on. Let's talk about it. This happened at the VA hospital in Florida, Gainesville area. That covered, I think, parts of Georgia too. The Malcolm Randall Medical Center, Gainesville Division. When you ask for help, shouldn't you get help? But the promise was, you know, hey, you know, shouldn't you be able to leave when medical staff tell you? But it was all lies. The person promised them was all lies. And this is the gentleman here, the veteran, is no longer with us. And Veteran Baker Act at Florida VA Hospital raises questions about state law. So let's see. And I'm going to get to y'all comments on that once we watch the video, then we're going to get to it. Let's see. We're going to get into that. Thank y'all for those. And we're going to get to the video, and then we'll talk about the Thanksgiving. Thank y'all for answering. Now let's get to it, family. We're going to rewatch it here for those that didn't get to watch it. Fair use, fair use, fair use. This is for educational and informative purposes only. So VA is a snitch. I wonder. Oh, somebody said, well, we got good news. I went to visit my new grandson. That's Bionic Woman. And Betty Bob say, congratulations. See, state law overrides VA. Yeah, I'm learning something. You just taught me something. And we're going to get to your other statements about Thanksgiving, fair use. All right, let's see what happens here. Put speakers in the chat or let me know if you can hear.
The VA in Florida is facing serious questions about how its hospitals are using the Baker Act on veterans seeking help. This after a young Marine went to a Florida VA for treatment and ended up being held against his will for days.
This is our son when he graduated boot camp.
Jordan Hunkin was barely a teenager when he first told his mom he wanted to be a Marine.
He says, I'm going in the military, Mom. I want to be a Marine. I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, to be in the military was an honor.
By 17, Hunkin enlisted.
While his parents attended graduation ceremonies, 17-year-old Jordan Hunkin could not.
The young recruit even made the local news when he skipped his high school graduation to pursue military service.
Now, he missed his high school graduation so that he could show his loyalty to his country. Great.
For the next 8 years, Hunkin, who was part of a special ops radio battalion, would endure multiple tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. By 2012, he left the Marine Corps for civilian contract work. A few years later,
about 2015, he began to pull from us, and I did not know why. As the years went on, the further and further he got.
And all of us as veterans know how that looks, what that feels like when we pull away from others, when we feel isolated. Others may not understand it, but we know how it is. But other people in our family may not understand it. And we at the time may not fully understand it.
Records his family provided us show Jordan's military service left him with numerous head strikes, a mild concussion, and PTSD. Friends say the former Marine knew he needed help and wanted it.
That's kind of when he brought up that he was thinking about going to the VA. And that's when I got really worried.
Friend and fellow Marine James Hobby.
His fellow Marine James Hobby, who stood up for him, and we thank him for doing so. And we need to be more like him, standing up for our fellow veterans, even when they're not here to speak for themselves. You understand? So thank you, brother, we salute you, his fellow Marine, standing up for your brother. Thank you so much. And thank you, because thank God we found out about this story.
There's been plenty of instances where guys do that and it doesn't turn out well. We joke about it like in the military where like, don't go to the VA, like they'll just kill you.
For Jordan, nothing was funny about the mental battle he was losing. So in February of 2023, he came here to Malcolm Randall VA Hospital in Gainesville, where the young Marine told buddies he was attending a voluntary treatment program for depression and PTSD.
Now, he was told he was going there for a voluntary treatment program for PTSD, I think he said. Let me make sure. I think he said PTSD.
Program for depression and PTSD.
He was convinced that
program for voluntary Gainesville.
Now listen what they told him.
Where the young Marine told buddies he was attending a voluntary treatment program for depression and PTSD.
He was convinced that there was.
So he going in there for a voluntary treatment program. Now listen to that. For depression and PTSD, I suffer from both, and I went to a voluntary treatment program for depression and PTSD. I did. So I can feel this. I thank God it didn't happen to me like it happened to him. I hate that this happened to him. And I wonder how many others. Just think if I'd have went in and they'd have treated me like this. Y'all about to hear how he was treated. Physically assaulted.
It's a special combat veteran program that he was going to be able to attend that would help him with the issues that he was having.
A few days later,
He called me and he was a completely, totally different person. Like he was very frantic in the voice. He was very distraught. He starts to tell me about how he showed up and he asked for this person's name that he was supposed to be meeting there. And upon asking for that person's name, he was tackled and restrained and held for 3 days.
Hold on. He asked for the person's name. And when he come there, he was tackled and restrained and held for 3 days. He had no idea what they were doing. Now, does that build trust? If somebody physically assaults you under the cover of the government, they trick you.
known in Florida as the Baker Act, the state law allows designated professionals to initiate an involuntary mental health exam on someone they deem to be a threat to themselves or others. In Jordan's case, despite voluntarily going to the VA for treatment and even being commended for his courage reaching out for help, he was still involuntarily committed under Florida's Baker Act.
So he did the right thing. He sought treatment and help and was commended in his records for it, but he was punished shortly thereafter because it's not a positive thing to tackle someone and restrain them unnecessarily when they're coming in there voluntarily for help.
The move taking him off guard. At one point, he told staff, "This place is not what I expected, and I don't understand why I'm here," or Baker acted. 2 days later, Jordan was discharged and never went to the VA for help again.
At that point, he felt that.
So he never went back. Can you trust a system that promised you help and then they ambush you?
Whoever he asked for help is just going to hold him against his will again.
And who was that person that promised him that? Have they been prosecuted? Have they been fired? The person that tricked him, where are they at? Are they being protected?
6 months later, 36-year-old Jordan Hunkin died by suicide.
It's just a shock. You know, it's not something, even though you might think it's going to happen, when it does, it's like, oh, no.
Family and friends believe what happened to Jordan at the VA pushed him over the edge.
So he can't trust the VA anymore, the VA healthcare system, because they ambushed him when he was being up front with him.
You threw my son under the bus. You didn't take care of him.
I most definitely believe the VA contributed to his death because afterwards he was a completely, totally different person.
Angry over his friend's treatment, Hobby complained to the VA and discovered his complaints were getting closed within an hour of being submitted.
And they're immediately getting complaints that they should be looking into, and they're throwing them in the trash.
So he'd submit a complaint, and then hours they cancel his complaint about his friend's situation, how he was treated. How insensitive that is.
He went up the chain, eventually getting the attention of the VA's Office of Inspector General, who investigated. A few months later, the IG released this report that found Jordan was incorrectly Baker acted, his rights violated. There's more.
Hold on. So he was incorrectly Baker acted. Because with the Baker Act, not only do they involuntarily submit you to a hospital for treatment, they also take away your firearms. Now, family. But I thought the Lieutenant Gade said all we need is God in treatment. But what if the treatment is abusive? Is this coming back to haunt them? Their statements are not, they are reckless. They are not without harm toward others. Listen to this. Charleston says, but Lieutenant Colonel Gade and Dakota Meyer said it's flexible with religion. And matter of fact, Charleston said this happened back in 2024. Now listen, Betty Bob said, H-Town, yes, I did see this video around July of 2025. So thank God, man, you be doing some serious searching, sister. You send me so much wonderful stuff. And all of you do. Charleston, Jay Oliver sent some great
No
information.
Baker Act training.
The information Jay Oliver sent me, y'all gonna be mad. Y'all gonna be mad. And he said, am I throwing him under the bus? Because I did more research. So I'm throwing myself under the bus too. Listen, what they say, just the same thing they say about police, lack of training. But when they go to rich neighborhoods, it ain't no lack of training. They don't harm none of them when they do domestic violence against their spouses or harm their spouses or children. Huh? But lack of training at the VA hospital is why they did it.
No Baker Act oversight. No Baker Act tracking. In fact, the inspector.
So no Baker, they don't even track what they do. No oversight of the Baker Act. They gonna do like what's his name said in what's that movie? Training Day. I'm putting RICO charges. I'm putting Baker Act on all y'all. So I'm not trying to make y'all fearful of the VA system. I want y'all to be informed, family.
General's report, which doesn't name Jordan for privacy reasons, suggested what happened to him may have happened to dozens of other veterans seeking help at the same hospital.
Would you call it a complete failure?
You think? They did that so quick that was something that they were used and familiar to doing.
It definitely was a significant failure.
Susan Tostenrud is with the VA and says part of the problem is the VA governs by its own set of rules, not Florida law, which sets rules for the Baker Act.
Did y'all know that the VA has its own set of rules? They make them up. I'm the VA and I say so. So we're under a system that governs itself, that they actually decides what's the law and what's not the law or policy as it relates to us. And so that means they didn't have to really follow the Baker Act that requires, now listen, you want to hear this? The Florida Baker Act criteria for involuntary examination for them to hold you. One, refusal of voluntary examination. He didn't refuse anything because he came there for help. Did you hear me? So he was there for treatment and they ambushed him. Number two, inability to determine if an exam is needed. He didn't have no inability to determine if an exam is needed. He was there for treatment. That's why he was there. Now look, threat of substantial harm to self or others. He didn't hurt himself. He didn't hurt nobody else. He came there and volunteered, and they commended him for it, coming in there and seeking help. Risk of neglect. He wasn't neglectful because he went in there and asked for help. He came at the time he told him. He trusted the person's word, and they were the ones that were neglectful. No accountability. So I'm the VA, I say so. They just threw the criteria out the window and say, we're going to do it VA style. Now listen, or whatever they considered at that VA hospital. Now, oh no, Dougie says VA well-trained and the best people. I guess so. Wow. I don't know that.
Unable to say if it's a systemic issue. I can say it could be.
They unable to say that it's a systemic issue. Yes, it is. That's what the Officer Attorney General was saying. They kind of don't want to, they don't know if it's systemic. Yeah, right. They did that too quick, too fast. That was like that they trained to do that to that young man, knowing that there would be no consequences for doing such a thing. Why didn't they just talk to him? He came in of his own free will. Now let us continue.
Studies show veterans who are involuntarily admitted are at a higher risk of suicide in the year following. Though Jordan took his life 6 months after he was Baker acted, the IG's report falls short of blaming the hospital for his death.
See, you know why they fall short of blaming the hospital? Family, do you know why? Because his family could sue for liability. So they use the word misled, not mistreated. When you tackle somebody, that's not misled. That's an ambush that led to this man, this Marine, not trusting the VA system, healthcare system at all. So what can he do if that was most likely his only form of healthcare? I know is for me.
But it acknowledged his experience likely contributed to him feeling, quote, misled by the VA.
Misled? He not just misled, that's a real kind word. No, he felt betrayed, I'm sure. I'm not trying to speak for him, but the fact that he didn't go back, it was stronger than misled.
Some people have a great experience with the VA, and then some people die.
James Hobby now wants accountability.
I just don't think it's okay for him to be treated that way, and then him just be another number that just killed himself, when there's way more to it than just that. It's not that simple.
I want them to work to help bring these men and women the help they need. He was in the radio battalion. They were ambushed.
Jordan's family just wants change and a promise their son's death off the battlefield is taken as seriously as it would be had Jordan died on the battlefield.
These guys are coming to you for help.
Officials at Malcolm Randall VA Hospital refused an on-camera interview, sending us a statement instead, telling us preventing veteran suicide is our highest priority, and we take this responsibility with the utmost seriousness.
Not even mentioning his name. Just a generic statement.
The hospital now stepping up its Baker Act training and protocols. I'm Katie.
Oh, wow. How's that training been helping when it comes to shooting an unarmed black man? Have them help, right? Only thing help when they start tearing stuff up after George Floyd. All of a sudden, now they can put policemen in jail. What's going to happen with these individuals that are responsible for the neglect? If that had happened at a civilian hospital, tell me what would have been the consequences. If this would have happened at a civilian hospital, what would have happened to the medical staff if they just tackled somebody like that unjustly? Would the outcome been the same in most cases? Let us know. Now listen, misled, I could use that excuse my whole life. BS accountability. Government, oops, don't cut it in the Navy. Yeah, now nobody want to hear that. Nobody in the military wants to hear that. I want that, this family was strong to be there, and his friend, a fellow Marines, and other people that care about him, rest in power, rest in power. I just wish this would have never happened. It's unnecessary, And family, so what about what we were saying? We're going to catch back up. We're going to go back over here. What Lieutenant Gay say? Treat illness, don't compensate. Well, the treatment is bad too. And he had a smirk talking about this. Was this funny? The treatment that this Marine got, veteran Marine? Huh? And this has been an issue so bad with suicide that they had to do a report from 2005 to 2016. And several veterans unalived themselves at the VA hospital, and many crying out in letters or in restrooms. They did it right here in Houston. Yes, he go call him sleepy. Yeah, he's sleepy. He's sleeping on the truth. He would call this a junk disability. Lieutenant Gay say mental health can be cured according to him. He said it can be cured. So say that to the family of this Joseph, I believe his name, the Marine, this Marine veteran. I'm not good at names, so I do apologize. Say that to him. Smiley, sorry, oops, yeah. real insensitive. If he ever comes back up and show his face, we gonna drag him. Who the Dougie? Never seen the dude. Wow. Doug Collins. Dougie is a Doug Collins. Yeah, he hiding. Doug Collins. We call him Dougie. And so if you're cured, they saying you don't need your medication. Reckless. This is where. So now defend yourself, fam. This is what we're saying the solution is, and we're gonna go over the information. And like you having a pillow fight with your sibling, you need to be in a position. Even though I know it's hard for y'all, when you go into the VA, you gotta be ready. And I'm gonna ask y'all, for those that didn't get the answer, when you go to the VA, do you feel stress going there? Let us know. A 1 for yes, a 2. A Y for yes, and an N for no. And you got to be prepared. You got to be. A lot of times we have to defend ourselves. Going for medical treatment, that is so contradictory, bizarre. They're paid to stress us out. We got to protect ourselves, and we're going to talk about how to do that tonight. We have to have our counter offensive. So when they come at us, you need to record any rude people when it comes to medical staff, whether it be at the desk when you check in, whether it be with the nurse when they're doing your blood pressure and vitals, other vitals, and with the doctor, and your experiences as you go through the VA. I say, why? So yes, I watch what I say. You got to. Yes, be careful when y'all go in there, family, because you don't want them to use your words against you, or you don't want them to make up words. So you be very careful and talk to more than one person. If they're not talking or making sense, you don't want them to get tripped up like our Marine brother did here. So you don't want them where they blindside you, because it's gonna happen to us, some of us anyway. Get you a veteran advocate. One thing I really appreciate he did, he told someone. Nobody wouldn't have known if he didn't talk to his friends. Thank God he told somebody. So the key is knowledge. Knowledge empowers you. You need to know what the rating is. Use what's that? We had that rating thing that rates your hospital. Rate your hospital. Fill out those surveys. Yeah, Farm Girl Dougie is the VA secretary. Doug Collins. Charleston nicknamed him Dougie. Thank you for that, Coasty. H-Town always told you verify information. So if somebody tells you that, come in for the treatment center, call somebody else. We're learning now. Call somebody else and say, hey, this person told me I'm going to treatment center. And they'll tell you, well, we have no record you going to a treatment. Oh, okay. Let's see. Yes, especially the nurse who does my vitals. So you have problems with the nurse. I have problems with the blood lab people being disrespectful sometimes. I have problems with, especially almost on a frequent basis, with some of the people, the front desk people. Now look what our sister saying here. Turn the music back on. Our sister says, I know sarcasm just doesn't come through well in writing. Chat, LOL. Yeah, I know. Listen, yeah, Oliver, thank you, brother. You a blessing, but Jay Oliver gave us some information that's on fire that led me to other information. So you're gonna be throwing me and him under the bus, but it's the truth. You see that, Jay Oliver? Thank you. Welcome for coming in. He say good evening, family. See, Jay Oliver, look, if I go down, I'm like Nino Brown. Everybody got to go down. Why I'm bringing you in it? Oh, yeah, blame me. Oh, family, I love y'all. I really love y'all. Now, listen what Farm Girl Rebel say. I have the best doctor in my CBOC community-based care. That's 20 miles down the highway. I love her. Yes, indeed. Now, I got a good doctor. I can't say I don't. Even my dentist was good. She is VA, but she is really great. Yes, if you have some good VA doctors, if you have good VA doctors, put a heart in the chat. If you got any of your doctors, good VA doctors, we want to compliment the ones that's good too. But verify information. If they put something incorrect in your files, as Alaska Nights have always told us, go dispute that. Come on now, fam. Make sure you every year, every 6 months to a year, get your, well, you should go in there I say 3 to 6 months and get a copy of your medical records. After you see the doctor, you need to see what they said about you. All right, keep a full copy so you'll be able to defend you. That's how you defend yourself, man. Number 2. Family, we at it. We treated as second-class citizens or veterans. So these are the things that you need to know. How can veterans prevent the VA healthcare system or benefit system from being weaponized against us? Now, Farm Girl Rubber say it's been hit and miss at the VA in Minneapolis, but most have been good. Okay. Now let's say question: get new doctor. VA December 5th. Yeah, you can change your doctor when you get ready. And if they have a person that's a resident and you want an actual doctor and you don't want a resident seeing you, you can tell them, I don't want nobody that doesn't have their full credentials. Now, I had a resident do my dental work, and boy, that was the best dental work I ever had. And they didn't stay; they were moving on, but very good. My primary care, love my primary care. I love my primary care and my mental health doctor. Jay Oliver say, good specialists. Oh, specialists. Boy, it's good to have specialists. Hope you find a good one, Charleston. I hope so too. Because we want him to have a better experience. Huh, family? Now, before I go into this, I want to read what y'all had for Thanksgiving, or I guess we can get into that a little later. We'll get it. Well, let me see. I don't want to get too far down the road. Let me see what I got here. I look like I missed it. Wow. I can't. Okay. Okay, said, this was Charleston say, my daughter fixed me a meal for Thanksgiving today, visited my older brother, 79, nursing home with dementia. He's better today, and I know he was happy to see you. And then Farm Girl say, wasn't feeling well yesterday, basically just started at the food I made. Okay, that's it. My daughter and niece cook for me, and they got to tell me where they learn how to cook like that. They talking about they learn off YouTube and just, I guess, watching me. I don't know. They cooking too good. Now, it was really good. How? Because some people cook for years, can't never cook, but they can cook. How are you doing, Betty? Did you start your food too? Yeah, I hope you did. I remember. Okay, now, see the state law overrides. Okay, remember we said that. And we were congratulating our sister, Bionic Woman, say, went to visit my new grandson. How many months is he, Bionic Woman? And they saying congratulations. Now we're going to get back down here. Now let's see. G. Oliver said 82-year-old neurologist. Okay. Then J. Oliver, oldie but goodie. Charleston the best. Then Betty, I thank God for Betty Bob's telling us about these patient advocates. Say, patient advocate, you can request a new doctor. Yes, indeed. And if that patient advocate don't help you, request a new patient advocate. Now, shipmate Betty Bob's, yes, that's what I did. Good. See how we helping each other? because we feel trapped sometimes. Somebody had to tell me what a patient advocate was when I was at the VA. I say, what? And they helped me because I didn't like one of the doctors I had. Charleston, Z, I am glad you did. Yes, indeed. We don't need to feel powerless. That's why we have each other. Do you ever feel like that we are treated like second-class citizens as veterans? We know all the time people are thanking us for our service. But when it comes to giving us tangible things that we need to adjust to civilian world, then people start counting pennies and saying what we don't need. So you, with your mouth, you want to say nice things about me, but when it's come time to help support us based on our sacrifices, nah, stop being a victim. What? I'm a victim now? You just thank me for my service. Did the same thing to Jesus. Call him Hosanna, Hosanna, then crucified. Same people. Whew. Do you ever feel like you're some kind of secondhand item that the VA, the VAB, the VHA, Veteran Healthcare Administration, treat you like you're secondhand? Like now that they've used us in the military, we're disposable, or they can, we're not as good quality or valuable. Now, don't get mad when I ask you this here. One thing that they do that makes me feel second, like we're not as valued. Have you ever had an appointment and a few days before the appointment, less than a week, they canceled your appointment? Put the word cancel in the chat if you've ever had them involuntarily cancel your appointment without you having any say in it. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever had a canceled appointment that they did it? That's like not showing you respect. They could call in and say, hey, have you ever had just them cancel it? Because they, Farm Girl Rebels say they just canceled it. A-Sound say they canceled it. Now listen to what y'all would say. Yes, like a dirty dish rag. Man. And then tell you it may be months before you can get another one. Have they ever canceled one of your VA appointments without your knowledge? I'm telling you afterward. Now, another thing you got to consider, we need to make sure we get control over, is law changes. Any appointments canceled, family, let us know. Now, listen, Coastie say, yes, they called me 2 hours before my appointment to cancel it. They called me, it wasn't that quick. Was it that quick? No, they called me maybe 3 or 4 hours. Wow, you didn't even have time you're probably on your way there. Jay Oliver say, cancel the CMP exam on it. Wow, without telling them. And if you don't go to them, you may not get another appointment, but they can cancel it. That's really, did they notify you? How long before did they notify you, Jay Oliver? Now, Charleston say, I started with the VA in 1996. I felt like a practice patient. They call the VA hospital a campus. Go look on the outside. Here in Houston, they call it a campus. It's a training center. 70% of all doctors are trained through the VA system. That's why they call it a VA campus, like a school. Did you hear me? Doctors back then, I thought, was secondhand. Can anybody use a secondhand doctor? He only been used a time or two. Huh? Just a little training. He'll be all right, though. Canceled 1 week before pre-op. Now, that's serious. Canceled before pre-op. Law changes, family. And we know if they change the law when it comes to permanent total, or change the law when it comes to VA compensation altogether, they change the law when it comes to VA healthcare treatment, the Baker Act. Seem like they just kind of do what they want anyway. Now, Jay Oliver say the CMP was canceled from person to ace as I arrived. Wow. Now listen to Dogface Soldier say, good afternoon. Let me pull it up because I can't see his whole writing. Say, good afternoon over here, vets. Turning in. How's everyone? Had a happy Thanksgiving. I sure did. Tell them, how was your Thanksgiving, family? Y'all go ahead and keep talking about that Thanksgiving. I'm interrupting y'all time. Come on. Now, let's see what we got. Watch when they change the law. But they don't even need to change the law. They just break the rules. They make their own rules. Huh? You say, D fast, yes. Happy to see you. Yes, indeed. Follow the money, family. Always follow the money. They making backdoor deals in Congress. Now think about it. They sitting here. Veterans are suffering and getting tackled at VA hospitals when they're coming in there voluntarily, and then they're being forcibly, involuntarily hospitalized for 3 days or more. Come on, family. What are they doing about that? So, but then we got Ryan. Y'all ain't gonna like what I'm about to cover in a minute. Okay, don't get too mad. Ryan Goloski saying that getting these benefits are perverse incentives. In particular, CHAMP VA, Chapter 35 educational benefits, because that deals with money. All right. Now, what's the name say? Don't reward illness. This is what Lieutenant Gage say. He want to get rid of disability altogether, but he say we can start with getting rid of certain ratings. And he want to rank veterans. The only veterans he want to get anything are combat veterans. You can be in a combat zone and fight. And they would probably, if they don't like you, say, oh, you're not a combat veteran. Now, Ryan Goloski, he wants to reduce the amount of money you get because he talks good 1 minute, fighting for it, but not. Now, I want you to listen now. Don't get mad because I'm about to show you something here, okay? I'm about to show you. We got the numbers right now. We don't just have receipts. We have invoices. We not going to tell you what they pay, but what they owe. Huh? Fam? Get ready now. Oh boy. He want to cut. He don't want no offset for VA disability and retirement pay, right? So I'm sure he's taking a pay cut. He works for a nonprofit organization, don't he? Don't he work for a nonprofit? The VFW, the Veteran of Foreign Wars. So they don't get paid to help veterans with their claims, do they? He lives in DC. That's why he's always up there. From what I gather, he lives in DC or in the DC area. Huh? So that's why he's able to go up to these meetings all the time. And he's doing this here. And let's see what they get paid for doing that. Huh, family? He wants to cut our money when it comes to what our dependents get, calling it perverse incentives. Uh-oh, perverse incentives. Uh-oh, fam, don't you get mad. I'm not in this one by myself. Jay Oliver helped me dig this up. Thank you, brother. You see how cutthroat I am. I'm sitting there thanking him because I want him to share the heat. But I thank him, brother. I really do. I mean, I joke, but I thank you. What's this here going on right here? Somebody tell me what's happening here. Veteran of Foreign Wars of the United States, a nonprofit organization, the kind of money they made in 2024, revenue, 91.1, let me correct that, 94.1 million in 2024. What were their expenses? They spend 94.3 million. So they spend just as much money as they made. That's what nonprofits do. Where that money go? Total assets, 269 million. Liabilities, 100, total liabilities, 131 million. Fam, we talking about big bucks. They don't talk about how much they make. This when they file their taxes, huh? Talking about their net income is net income. So expenses is over $94 million. But their net income is a negative 265,769. So they got a negative. What you say? They got a negative income. Okay. Now let's go on down some, family. Let me know if y'all can see this. Put a check in the chat or yes. Uh-oh. We got the liability compensation. Who getting paid what in 2024? And from what our brothers sent me, they getting paid more now. Tell me if y'all want to see what the pay we're gonna do all the branches eventually. But we starting off with the Veteran Foreign Wars. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to see how much they made. Brian Goluski. If you want to see, let me know. Put a 1 in the chat. Right now we got 11 likes and 10 watching. Because it's kind of a personal business. Should we be putting it out there? Let us know. Let us know, fam. They speaking. Here we go. Let me know if y'all want to know. Well, I guess we going to everybody quiet and listening. Here we go. Okay, the chief accounting officer got paid in 2024 $242,160. Remember I told you they get stipends for housing and different things? You got an extra $10,095 right there. You see that? Okay. The general counsel, the John guy that they legal, he got paid 200. Let me see. Now it's highlighting all. I can't do it. He got paid $222,019, but other money he got was $34,008. Those some hard numbers, ain't it? Let's talk about our brother Ryan down here. Executive Director, Washington office at the bottom down here. $203,568 in 2024, plus he got $17,258. Would you consider that perverse incentives? Look at the money the top brass is making. You got at least 10 to 12 people. I don't know. You got what, about 10 people making over $100,000? I ain't trying to pocket watch, but I'm saying, man. And all the way up to 250,000 or more. Family. What's really going on? Is that a perverse incentive? They say us getting these benefits. He said it's perverse incentive. So what do y'all think of that, family? Tell me what you think. I'm gonna stop it there and go back to this gentleman here that want to reduce our benefits as perverse incentives, but he's getting his money. He want to cut our champ VA perverse incentive. He's trying to clean it up now. Chapter 35, I want to cut that out. Oh, here go the other one. Now think about him when you're thinking about, and we're going to keep ringing the bell on him. Think about this gentleman, Lieutenant Colonel retired Gabe. He said, look what he said, I don't know if I can organize my life around the disability identity. but he organized his business around it. How hypocritical. So what would he say to the young Marine that was treated like that if he was still here? Would he have any sensitivity? What about our disability? What about his? What about the people that's left behind that suffer, his fellow Marines? What about them? Very insensitive and arrogant. The lie detector determined that that is a lie. He also may be getting his compensation, Ryan. You know what? I never thought about that, and that's tax-free. Ryan Goloski might be getting his compensation. Many of them are disabled veterans. I'm okay with that as long as you don't try to shoot what we get down, because they cut out the perverse incentives. If he getting his disability, would he cut out his perverse incentives? Remember, they like to talk about how these claim sharks are making so much money, but he never mentions his own salary and say that they don't charge anybody to do a claim. Okay, you're not charging, but you're getting paid from somewhere. The federal government and private interest. Who are those private interests? And do they have veterans as a priority, or the best interests of veterans in mind? These private interests. Family, we talking about it tonight. Let us continue. Let's say maybe we should start a VA disabled veteran lobby group. You know, that's what one of y'all said earlier. A bionic woman. We need to have our own group. And y'all talking right. We're talking right. It's like y'all so sharp. It's going to be in the slideshow. Remember, Gates says shouldn't be no ratings between 0 to 60%. And he really wants to get rid of all of them. He say they should not compensate, they should treat. And we see how tonight, how that treatment goes sometime. So we can't totally rely on that. He should have the option. He should have had the option, and we should have option. If we're not getting the proper treatment at the VA, we should be able to get that outside the VA if we choose to. Now, this Dr. Gay's proposal that'll get rid of almost 45% of all disabled veterans. Go back to work. Is that what he's saying to this young Marine? That's what he would have said to him? Because I won't know, because this is not a victimless crime, the things he's spewing. So he want to cut, Goloski want to reduce the money we get by taking away the offset for retirement and VA disability, taking away CHAM VA healthcare benefits would cause more veterans have to pay more money for their dependents' healthcare. And the Chapter 35, which my daughter used to go through school, and would have made it hard for me it'll make me hard to send my niece through school too, because that would have been hard if I didn't have the assistance with that Chapter 35 educational. He said, this gentleman here said, don't compensate at all, just treat illness. How did that treatment work for the brother that went down to Gainesville VA and they tackled him? What would he have to say about that? Daniel M. Gade, PhD, Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Army, retired. Boy, you got a big name placard. What would you say to that? Would you call that a junk disability? Okay, now, Congress only charters certain groups to have audiences with them and VA sessions. It should be open to the public. We need to start pressuring, because they have their own little lackeys up there. It's a dog and pony show. And they're using these crash dummies, and they're putting us all at risk because they're getting little trinkets and getting praised for trinkets. Now listen to Charleston. I need a veteran pastor though, to preach to Pastor Dougie and Lieutenant Gabe. All these guys are talking real religious, aren't they? Man, you said a veteran pastor might lay hands on them in more than one way, huh? Bam, bam. Now listen. Now I'm not going to go in on this young brother here, this Medal of Honor winner. We will be investigating more about you later because you have said some things that are problematic. That not only do I don't agree with, but they're problematic, and I will tell you why. Now here it is. He don't think we should get any money either. This is his blog or newspaper, whatever he has, where he shares, and he say The Bluff. That's the name of it. Reforming VA Disability Incentive Service, not sympathy. Sympathy. The Bluff. That's the name of his thing. He say, we build a system that this is his belief, his 4 points. We built a system that rewards, and let me see. Let me see here. Let me make it where I can see the whole thing. I guess, let me see here. All right, I think I can see it better here. Let me see. All right. Now I can see it better now. He's saying, we built a system that rewards pain. It's time to build one that rewards purpose. Say it to that young Marine who struggled last year, who went for help. Huh? He was trying to get a purpose, going there, doing what he thought was right because they promised him. Number 2, this is what Dakota Meyer says. He said this recently, November 18, 2025, a few days ago. Number 2, when it comes to VA disability, he says, stop paying people to be broken. Start paying them for standing up. That's what this Marine did. He stood up and did the right thing. They even put in his medical records how he was working hard and he did the right thing. So much so the OIG said that what was done to him was wrong. Number 3, what you incentivize is what you will get always. He's thinking that we as veterans are just degenerates, that we just greedy for money. Number 4, some may be now. Incentivize service, empower strength, let veterans lead again. This is all intangible gobbledygook. We'll go more into him and where he gets his change from, his paper for. Now, this supposed to be the Medal of Honor winner. This the one that was supposed to marry Sarah Palin's daughter, the baby mama. Now, do you think he's using, they say we shouldn't use our disability. I'm disabled veteran, but is he using his Medal of Honor as his brand to make decisions or commentation on us and what we should do? He should speak for himself, not us, I believe. How do you feel about that? Now listen to what Dogface Soldier says. What I don't understand is, why is the media talking about these people when they're talking negative about us veterans or us vets, when we have a I know the word prefla, or many of our representatives talking for us, prefla. I ain't never said the word. Many, I know what it means. Of representatives talking for us, and they're not being shown. No, they're not. They're chosen one-trick ponies. They don't need them to do but one thing. They are one-trick ponies. Dogface Soldier said they talk against our benefits. They come with so-called that credentialize them, say they can't attack them if you lost a limb in combat, if you got Purple Hearts, if you got the Medal of Honor, we're going to use you to go out and talk because they can't attack you. Man, we ain't putting up with nothing from nobody. Dogface Soldier says, and also, why are these so-called veterans talking about our compensation when instead they should be talking about how we should not only be compensated, but provide us with more resources? Well, if you want to know the answer to that, watch our video, why so many highly decorated veterans speaking against VA disability. We answered that question. Oh, did I plug my own video? Now listen, Jay Oliver said, it's about 1 or 2 videos ago. Jay Oliver said, yes, he is using his Medal of Honor for a brand. So we can't use our disability for a brand. We don't do it. Come on, boy. I love Dogface Soldier. Love your commentary, your statements when you ever come. Now listen, Charleston say, Dogface Soldier, my officer congressman, and I'm gonna tell you why. They do it because these people are paid by the federal government or have some kind of contract or they're living off. Remember, Gade gets his disability from the VA, that's federal. He gets his retirement, military retirement, that's federal. He has government contracts with set-asides. Set-asides sound like welfare, don't it? That's federal, for his business, his disabled veteran-owned business. Now, Dogface Soldier, this is what he said back to you, Charleston. Dogface Soldier, my office or congressman, period, 10, says only Democrats join military to run for Congress. Wow. Wow. 35% of the veterans in Congress are Democrat. And what's the other one? That would make what, about 65% Republicans. Remember, we went over that statistic. Farm Girl Rebel say, going to blow out and watch a movie with the hubby. Good night, everyone. Everybody say good night to our sister. Because we know this is, what's called. Fam, what's going on here? And then Congress is lying to us. Enjoy, Farm Girl Rebel. They lying, say they doing something for veterans, but it's for lawyers. So they're there to be watched side eye. Then the Washington Post, they putting out hit pieces. Look at all these people attacking us. I got them all on the reel here. Talking about veteran fraud and what we shouldn't get as far as disability. Oh, the owner of it is the Washington Post. I'm sure he doesn't get any federal money, right? Like he don't want us to get. Oh, look, Musk and Bezos get their billions of dollar federal contracts after sucking up the trunk. Whoever, I guess they kind of didn't like them. Now think about that. They don't want us to get federal benefits, but they get it. Everybody saying goodbye to our sister Farm Girl. We thank you for your contribution. Thank you. Now, and it comes down to it, the VA claims process. This is another issue that you're trying to play with, okay? H-Town got the whole system. When you get to the phase where they gotta give you a diagnosis and diagnosis, nexus, and severity level, and they gotta make a decision. They trying to play with that too, fam. They want to keep you on that hamster wheel, having these unwarranted CMP exams, resubmitting, claim over development. Watch them. We got to stay on top of it. So we can't trust even not just the VHA, the VA healthcare system. We can't trust the VBA because they break the rules. So they got laws that they don't follow. They're ruthless too. They're sitting here examining who. This is the OIG report here. Several of them coming out. They reevaluate people with a permanent rating. 60% of the claims that when they did this sample, 60% of them was people that weren't supposed to be examined at all. Unwarranted veterans are still being required to attend unwarranted medical reexaminations for disability. They just making up their own rules. And it doesn't stop there. They're also mistreating the dependents and survivors of veterans, stealing money. Okay? The OIG come up with this report. I don't see no punishment behind it. This is dealing with the PACT Act. Survivors did not always receive accurate or retroactive benefits for dependency and indemnity compensation claims reopened under the PACT Act. And we're talking about big back pay money because the veteran may have been gone for 5 or 7 years or so. Come on now, however many times. And remember H-Town's own experience when they tried to do VA claim error and tried to get me incarcerated. Come on now. That's why you fight them back. How do you fight back? With the law. And I use the law when it comes, no, you cannot make me pay for apportionment when I'm already providing for my child. Huh? But we did inform you. Remember I said be informed? Be informed. They can, if you're not providing for a dependent parent, spouse, or a child, you'd have to be married to the spouse and they just not living with you. And they can get all or part of your VA compensation. Nobody else told you that but H-Town, because I had to find out the hard way. Number 3, so the question is, and we're going back so you'll know what the question is. How can veterans prevent the VA hospital from being weaponized against us? And you can use this also for, the benefits administration too. 1, listen, think, speak. Whenever you're dealing with that VA, don't just agree to nothing right off the bat. You listen to what's being said, think about what they're saying. I wouldn't even speak that day, say, well, let me get back to you. Don't make no rush decisions because you don't know what, if it don't sound right, don't do it. I wish I was able to be there, but that person sounded convincing with our brother that was a Marine, and he was believing. I would have told him, don't trust nothing they say because they lied to you. If you've been lied to by a VA representative, whether it's the VA hospital or the Veteran Benefits Administration, put the word lie. If you've been lied to, and if you haven't been lied to, put no. If you've ever been lied to by a VA representative, put the word lie or an emoji that represents lie. I've been lied to. So that's why you got, if you've ever been lied to, and once you tell us you've been lied to or not, tell us what the worst lie you were told. And did it hurt your claim? Did it hurt your health? So J. Oliver been lied to. Charleston been lied to. Now let's see what our brother got here. He say, Brother Dogface Soldier say, Congress should not even touch our vet compensation, but instead they should be focused on where did all that money go from the Dougie administration. Oh, God, dog. Yes, indeed. He say lie. Pinocchio. Charleston say lie. So when people are lying, you got to listen. Remember, I said earlier, police can legally lie to you. They want you to talk, but the first thing they do is lawyer you up with their police union. They want to say, well, I say, hey, do you talk when something happens to you, or do you lawyer up with your police organization? So why are you trying to get me to do it? Listen to what they tell you. Think about it, then speak. The Bible say, be slow to speak, quick to listen, slow to get angry. Now listen, we say, I need a spinal tap or be discharged. Yes. Wow. Now, look, and what we can do not compare yourself to other veterans. Because when they say, look, I got mine quick. When I went in there, this happened, and they were good to me. They might have been good, or that veteran might overlook some stuff. So look at it a case-by-case basis. Don't be saying, well, that person don't look as sick as me. This is what we need to stop doing. Why they 100%? They got I got more problems than them. Stop comparing ourselves to other veterans because you don't know their full medical record. Okay? We here to work with each other, not to outdo each other. And we need to unify. So when the confusion happens, the divide happens, we gonna know who's on who team. Okay? That's why we being on code. The code is the leader. Ain't no leaders. The code is the leader. The truth. Those that need the most constructive help get it. That's what's fair for veterans. Veterans that need more compensation, more benefits should get it. More treatment should get it. Come on now. And we gotta stand up, like you say. We might have to go to Washington, like Bionic Woman. I think one of you other may have been we might have to stay at Betty Bob's or Charleston House since they live so close to DC. And they gotta cook breakfast. That's all, just breakfast, pancakes. I'm not saying that's what I eat, but I'm assuming that's what most people eat. I'm sure they're gonna house us in their backyard. Hey, we can't wear out our welcome. Now listen, Charleston say it was practice for doctors, old doctors, to say, no, never do that for practice. Yes. Now listen, lie hurt my claim, said lumbar issue doesn't affect urine issues. CMP confirmed it does. 40% after 2 denials. So when they saying no, it's not. That's lie detector determined that that's a lie. Speak up, family. We're gonna speak up as a unit. Now here we go. Now we got to talk about it now, fam. What we're gonna have to start doing, listen, we gotta fund pro-veteran causes. Hold on. H-Town kind of pro-veteran cause. Am I sitting out here trying to hustle? Am I saying, look, I'm saying I got something for the church building fund, but it's not just the money you put in. Y'all need to put in time. We need to put in energy. Y'all need to send me and others that are doing right. Send me, because send me the articles like y'all been doing, fam. Thank Jay Oliver for that information, ain't son. But you got it. These programs are highly funded that are speaking against us. So we're going to have to start getting organized. Now, let's see what we got here. Betty say, you all more than welcome. Bring your tents. I'm going to have to get another tent, but I ain't got no problem. I got sleeping bags. We will provide the heat and food. Okay. Now, listen to what our brother Dogface say. Soldier. Remember, Lieutenant Colonel Gadd is highly funded. These veteran organizations we saw with Ryan Galassi, he's highly funded. Makes about $250,000 every year and lives in Washington, D.C., and he goes up there and talks to them all the time, saying, preaching half for us and then saying some slick stuff. Now listen to what Dogface Soldier said. I saw the full video on GAID issues, and info said, why are you blaming personal situations when the big percentage of veterans are really injured? It sure seems GAID is subjective and biased to harm us. Yes. It's costing some veterans their lives. He's like it's a joke. Now, another thing we want you to do, don't chase the money, because if we just chase the money to get ours, we'll all be separate and they'll continue to organize against us. And then at the end, won't none of us have any benefits or money. But all they have to do is throw a few dollars and people come in and start trolling and saying, I don't need y'all no more. I got my 100%. Remember, I told you, the most people I had to block is people getting them 100%. Huh? And they play stupid. Did I get blocked? Did I get blocked? Man, I ain't even entertaining it. You better stay away from here and keep it moving. You thought you was special? Remember, that doggone Mr. Expert Troll thought he was special, and he got canned. Had to come in here acting like he was 3 or 4 different female personalities. Weird. Now, Brother Charleston say, if I get higher rating, I will be willing to make annual dues to a veteran organization in Washington, D.C. Yeah, but you got to make sure it's an organization that stands up for us, okay? Now, so do your due diligence. We have 13 likes and 11 watching. Thank y'all, family. Y'all been very incredible. But we got to find an organization standing for us, and we got to really deal with veteran greed, desperate for money, and understand why, because many of us suffering financially because of our mental health and physical disabilities related to our military service. But we got to watch who we're dealing with. I ain't saying a person help you, but watch what deals you make and be very careful online, because when people are trying to bait you in to come to their channel and all they're talking about is how to get this and get money, get this money. Yeah, it might affect your character. Okay? Be careful. Number 5. Now, here's where it gets serious with the Marine veteran that took his own life. And what really is upsetting is they take your firearms too. Now, if you get a fiduciary, watch our video on this, they can take your weapons when you get Baker Acted. When you get a fiduciary, which is somebody that's over your funds, that's handling your money, and that's usually on the CMP exam DBQ. The doctor says whether or not you can handle your finances. Okay? And you don't have to be 100%. You could be 30%. They say you can't handle your finances. Okay? You could have a physical ailment, they can say. But if it's mental, I think mental, they'll have a fiduciary. Either you get a family member that the VA has to approve of, or they will put somebody in charge. It could be a lawyer or something like that. And they would take your money and pay your bills and take care your dependents if they get anything like Champ VA Chapter 35, or until they get to age what they can handle it on their own. And managing the beneficiary funds, the beneficiary must ensure. The fiduciary. So the beneficiary is the veteran that's shown not to be able to handle their finances, and the other dependents. All right, that's the beneficiary. The fiduciary is the person over the funds. Fiduciary must ensure all of the beneficiary bills are paid on time. This includes any income tax or unpaid debts. They have organizations that'll do it, and they cover up to like $25,000 because they do have people stealing the veterans' money, and the VA usually pay it back. Now, and one of the biggest issues is mental health issues, as we were describing. That's how the brother got Baker Act him because of mental health. We can't let them weaponize us seeking treatment, weaponize that against us. They'll say, oh, you can't handle your money because of your mental health condition. And they will take your firearms. Now, what happens to the firearms when a person is Baker Act? Law enforcement will confiscate any firearms owned by the person. Number 2, if a risk protection order, or RPO, is issued, the person must surrender all firearms, ammunition, and concealed weapon permits. Next, the firearms are usually returned within 24 hours of discharge unless an RPO is issued. Okay. Family, are we breaking it down? We have our Second Amendment rights, a right to bear arms. And we talked about the concealed weapon. We have a video on it. All right. We talked about it. I shouldn't have kept that up there. We didn't need that 5 up there. And it will prevent you from getting a concealed weapon license. Or if you have one, you may lose it and reinstate. And here's the form for when it's a proposal. If they tell you based on the doctor's CMP exam, the doctor say you need someone to handle your finances, it's a proposal. That's why you need to go to your social worker at the VA, your outside doctor you see on a constant basis, more than you saw the CMP and doctor, which was just one time mostly. So, and you say, hey, can I handle my finances? And that's how you get from under that. Now, they will continue to pay you your regular check, but they might hold your back pay. All right? So make sure you fill one of these out. And if you need help, go get the help you need on the Veteran Suicide Hotline. And I don't have the number up this time. I apologize. I wasn't able to find it. And if you want to know more things about fiduciaries, because that's amazing, you can't do something with your finances, so then they take your weapons away. How wild is that? And we did a video, go watch on it. We covered Congress talking about that. Here's the information for the VA fiduciary. We have the VA regional office, their phone number, their email, and their web address. Now, Charleston says, except for Florida Second Amendment rights. Okay. Yeah, unless you black, because that black lady shot up in the air when her husband was abusive, and she didn't even shoot at him, and they put her in jail. And he had a history, and they admitted, yeah, but it depends on who you are. Now, be on code, family. Family, we need to be on code. And I do have a question. Where is Dougie? Has anybody seen Dougie? Please send me some information. We want to do a welfare check to make sure that Dougie's okay during these times where we've been attacked. Veterans are being mistreated by the health VHA, the VA Healthcare Administration. Where is Dougie? People, when Gade is talking about us and they got Medal of Honor winners speaking against our benefits, where is the Secretary of the VA, Doug Collins? He's MIA. With the Baker Act, all veterans should move out of the state of Florida. You know, that's an amazing thing. This is very unfortunate that this happened to this veteran. But I hope people watch this and we get the word out. Now, I'm asking you, did we answer the question? How can veterans prevent the VA hospital system from being weaponized against us? I hope I gave you some strategies. We can unify. You need to defend yourself. And we gave several things. Become informed. Did we answer the question? Let us know. Did we answer the question? Let us know. Yes or no. Did we answer the question? Charleston say, where is Pastor Dougie? Bet he's depressed. He need to go to the VA. He's a veteran. Did we answer the question, fam? The question is at the bottom. Did we answer it? Let us know. Yes or no. All right. Let's see. Charleston say we answered the question. Okay. Thank you. Keep letting us know, even though we changed slides. We appreciate it. We've been here 2 hours and 14 minutes. We're going to try to. Jay Oliver say we answered the question. If this information has been informative, please like the video. Share it with others, please. We'd appreciate it. And subscribe. I'm sure y'all must have been doing that because I've been getting a lot of subscribers lately. a lot of subscribers, and we thank you. Thank y'all so much. For those that watch and may not chat, or those that watch live or recorded, we appreciate you. You're just as important. And we want to win your subscription. We truly do. Now, we're not going to do VA law tonight, but we will be getting into it. VA news, we covered the news tonight. Thank you for that. Here's the new pay scale right here. We're going to be making on the next VA check for January the 1st for the veteran only, $3,938.58. Fam, and 10% is $180.42. So fam, that's tax-free money. Yes, we covered on the last live stream that when it comes to the military, U.S. military members, the enlisted make up 82%, officers make up 18%. Percentages by branch, military branches, less than 1% is that's in black, that's Space Force. Coast Guard make up 3%, the Marines make up 13%. The Air Force makes up 24%. The Navy makes up 25%. I didn't know they were so close in size. And the Army makes up 34%. Sit on that. Let's see. Now about our channel, family, and we thank you for your patience. Anything y'all want to say about Thanksgiving, y'all can go ahead and start talking. Our channel is informative, first of all, interactive, respectful, protective, transparent, and troll-free. Anything y'all want to talk about. And our regular schedule is on Sundays and Sundays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central Time. But just like tonight, we had an impromptu live stream. Now listen what J. Oliver said. There's a video posted of Dougie on 13th and Park 6 hours ago. Send that to me, J. Oliver, if you got it. If you got time. Dogface Soldier, Pastor Dougie is writing a sermon about not to ask any questions, but just give the money on the donation basket at church. Wow. We got 14 likes and 9 watching. Y'all sub better. Y'all say YouTube page 13 and Park. Okay. That's a YouTube page. Okay, we got to check that out. Yes, family. We thank y'all. We've enjoyed. And, I apologize for coming during your holidays, but I want to make sure we covered this information because people are being impacted. They're coming to me and asking me, H-Town, can you cover this? We appreciate your voice. We appreciate you putting that information out there. And we just, and what the person said, their fear was that it would die down. People talking about Dougie and Lieutenant Gabe and all of them. How to contact us. Our email's at the bottom, then our YouTube channel. You can watch other videos and live streams. Cash App and PayPal is there in the description. Now, Charleston, right on the page. Charleston say Navy is not a 2-bit branch. Y'all Navy, y'all sensitive out there. Better about say DFS. You mean the building fund. Oh, man. Y'all something else. The building fund. Church has been out in the building funds for years. We got 13 people in there. Now coming soon, family. Anything y'all got to say, go ahead. We're going to be doing it. We've been having a lot of news coming up, but we're going to talk about these secondary service connections and how to get paid on those, how to get the proper compensation. Let me put it like that. I'm sounding like these clickbaiters. And then we're going to talk about the whole person theory. I know we haven't gotten to it, but a lot been on my mind. Now, new releases, This one, whoo, this pretty good. Not this. This one good. This talking about we tallied up what the VA owe us and why they owe us. You need to watch that. What government owe us. And boy, people loving this. This getting a lot of views. We up to about 300 and some views, about almost 300. Super Soldier Syndrome. A lot of people found this one very interesting and informative from what I've seen. And then the bait and switch with that 100, your VA rating and getting you back to work. The VA bait and switch. And then are veterans seen as a burden when it comes to the rest of society and Congress? Now, Jay Oliver say prayers for the young National Guard. I forgot to say that. The young National Guard that lost her life and the one who was fighting for his. Oh, she passed away. I knew they were in critical condition. Prayers for them and their family. Yes, indeed. That somebody attacked them when they were in Washington, D.C. Some guy who was, who immigrated here in around 2020 something, and he was here in 2024. Some national, yes, from Afghanistan. And the president spoke real strong about that. I'm going to tell you what my feelings is about it. If you're in our country, you shouldn't be flying no other flag for no other country. I see that as a traitor thing. We do have the Black American flag, but we've been the most patriotic people here, and this is our country. But if you come and flying a flag from another country, that's called war. That's the declaration of war to me. Some people might feel different because I couldn't go to Mexico and pop up an American flag. They beat me down, stoned me right there. Now we have our video on work limits, depending on what VA disability rating you have. Please watch that. And I like the thumbnail. Look cute boy there, looking serious at that work job. Now Jay Oliver says prayers for the young National Guard. Oh yeah, I did. We gotta maybe have me do all kind of crazy stuff on here. When I click a button, it started doing our thing. Yes, indeed. Don't forget that. I meant to do an article and news on that. Then perverse incentives or proper rating, proper compensation. We talk about that term, and here's some of the other ones. These are actual live streams. So family, we're at the end here. After party, you have anything to say, let us know. Any questions? All right, now how's the weather where you at? We have 15 likes and 12 watching. So surprised we had so many people. Here in Houston, we have in Richmond. I live in Richmond, but the Houston area, so you have a frame of reference of where I actually live. Let's see. What am I doing? It's 60 degrees right now. That's low for us. We got down to the 40s last night. The low is supposed to be 50. We have 15 likes and 12 watching. Now, Jay Oliver says it's 58 degrees and clear in Louisiana. Thank you for letting us share that information with us and tell us what that weather is and in particular the temperature, as our brother just shared. And y'all can start saying once you tell us that if you like to, or you can give us your final goodbyes. Family, we got 14 people in here. Everybody keep coming back. We thank you for joining us. If you weren't able to watch the complete live stream, go back and watch it from the beginning because we went on some vital information about a young Marine brother and how he was treated at the VA hospital in Florida. So family, I want to thank you. Thank you, Jay Oliver, for being here. Thank you, Betty Bob, for being here. Betty Bob say it is 33 degrees, Maryland, clear. It was windy all day and sunny. Windy and sunny. Brother Charleston, thank you so much for your just being so unapologetically outspoken for us and using humor. Dogface Soldier, we're so glad you came in today and came in with powerful information and good commentary. Jay Oliver, thank you for the slideshow you sent that inspired us to put up those numbers, and we got more because he sent me some more information about how much these VSOs and these nonprofits are making. Thank you, brother. Can you send me the source of where you got it from? And so I can reference it too. Maybe more information to be on there for me. And thank you. I always like to have reference. Farm Girl, she's spending time with her hubby, and we thank God for her. She was fed the animals, spent time with us, and then with her hubby. Thank God for her. Then Coasty was the first in. He just gave me my energy. When y'all come in the room, it just inspires me. You understand? I mean that. And then when Bionic Woman came in, I started blushing. She can make a black man blush. You know, we don't turn red, we turn purple. We thank God for her and her new grandchild. We thank God and wish well and prayers to her and her family. That's you know, they have church lady, but it's actually Bionic Woman. For those that are confused, family, y'all were doing it tonight, and I thank you. We did it. It ain't but 2 hours and 25 minutes. We're gonna get ready to close out. And like we said, Coasty was the first in the house. Thank you, Coasty. Coasty really is just straight up with it. Now let me see where we at. Vin is in the house. Vin Olive in the house. Now, Betty already told us. Then Vin Olive say 36 degrees in Madison, Alabama. Yes, indeed. That's kind of low for Alabama in the South. Now, Charleston say 32 degrees and windy in PA. It's windy in Pennsylvania too, all day. Now, Jay Oliver say, I am happy to come in just in time and check in with my folks and share a few bright moments. Good night. Yes, indeed. Good night, brother. Jay Oliver say, okay, I will send the source. Yes, indeed. That way I always have it. That I won't be saying, well, he gave me this, you know. I always like to verify. But you really helped a lot with that. Now, Betty Bops, when you send me some, send the source information. That remember, we always verify. Don't mean we don't love you and think you're solid, but we're all human, right? Sometimes H-Town will get it mixed up if I don't verify. Betty Bops, H-Town, thank you so much for coming in and having a live today on Black Friday. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thank my daughter and my niece went Black Friday shopping. Betty Bob say, Vin Olive, hello. And then Betty Bob say, good night, shipmates. Yes, indeed, family. And I want to thank y'all for being so incredible, being here tonight. We had 2 hours and 27 minutes and thank you for being in. And go back and look at this full report. We're going to break it down. We talked about what happened to our brother, but one day we're going to go back through it, okay? We want to thank y'all for being here. And Charleston says, good night, shipmate and H-Town and family. Dogface Soldier say 48 degrees in Southern California. We're where I live. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, family. I'm just enjoying y'all. And I want to thank y'all. And I want y'all to have a good night. And check out this report. It was put out last year after the incident with the young Marine. And we pray and show respect to him and his family and his fellow Marines that supported him. Thank you. And good night.